This here's the Bouse Guide to Venomancer. You're welcome.
So, you want to play Venomancer like a bouse? Well, my friend, you've come to the right place. However, first of all, you better make sure you know what you're getting yourself into when you pick Venomancer. This hero is the master of both tower pushing and hero opponent. Now, if you still think you can handle that, keep watching. Otherwise, just go play Ricky. Before we begin, as with every hero, there are many different ways to build Venomancer, depending on the situation, and being able to adapt to your particular game is crucial to high-level play. However, this build I'm about to show you right now is the undisputed best and the only true way to play Venomancer like a bouse. Let's go! Starting out, you want to get 3 tangos with the health pot, and then a ring of protection. If no one else on your team got a courier or got wards, you just get one of those, and then if you have any extra gold, throw those into ironwood branches. Also, since Venomancer is a bouse and not a babysitter, you do not want to lane with a hard carry or somebody that needs a lot of creep kills early on, because you will be pushing your lane hard. Also, you don't want to make them feel bad by comparison because you're so bouse. Alright, now moving on to the early game skill build. At level 1, you can have a choice. You can either get your first skill, Venomous Gale, or your second skill, Poison Sting, and then just get the other one at level 2. It doesn't really matter since they're both really great early game skills. Quick rundown of the two. Your first skill, Venomous Gale, is a great slow even at level 1 and allows you to set up first blood kills if your team is ready to play aggressive at the very start. Maybe get a kill at the ruin, or maybe go for a level 1 gank. Now, if you chose to get Poison Sting is an amazing orb effect to your attack that is easily one of the best harassing tools in the laning phase. If you want to do massive damage with each attack and assert your dominance like a bouse early on in the laning phase, get this first. For me, I like to get Poison Gale first just because I like the opportunity to set up a first blood kill. If you can't make up your mind, you can always be a pro boss and not skill either until the situation arises when you either need a slow or a harassing tool. Because it doesn't really matter in the end, because at level 2, you'll have both of them like a bouse. Now, after you have both one in each Venomous Gale and Poison Sting, you want to max your Plague Ward, your third skill, first. You want to max that out. Of course, getting your ulti at level 6. The reason we want to max out Plague Wards first is because it is an amazing skill. It is a very short cooldown and costs almost an insignificant amount of mana, only 20 mana, and they do everything, meaning you're going to want to use them constantly throughout the entire game. Alright, now for those of you who can't figure this out for yourself, here's a short list of what these Plague Wards can do for you. Use them to push lanes, kill creeps, and kill towers. Use them to defend your own towers. Plague Ward defense, anybody? Use them as wards, hence the name Plague Wards. Use them to farm the jungle. Use them to add damage to team fights. Use them to keep you company during those lonely nights. Wait, what? Alright, now on to early game items. With your first 325 gold, you want to get your Sage Mask at the side shop. And this item with the Ring of Protection that you bought at the beginning of the game will complete your Ring of Basilius. Now, this item will magically solve your mana issues in the early game and let you use your Plague Wards very liberally without worrying too much about mana. But wait, that's not all, because this ring also gives a +2 armor bonus to everything around you, including those creeps. So therefore, once you get this, it is time to push. Afterwards, you're going to want to get your boots, because otherwise your feet are going to get really cold. Power Treads on Strength are the preferred item on Venomancer because it can give you that extra bit of survivability. And now after your feet are nice and warm, you're going to want to start building a Vanguard. The reason for this is, at this point, Venomancer is all set in the damage department. From your ultimate, to your Venomous Gale, to your Sting, to your wards, what you need is some survivability, because the longer you can stay in fights, the more wards you can plop down, the more poison you can unleash on your opponents, the more damage you can do. Vanguard is going to give you much needed HP, regeneration, and a chance to block damage. Plus, with this item, you can now tank tower shots, and that's going to help you push as well. Alright, now onto the gameplay strategies of early game. You are the boss of early game, so take advantage of that. After you get your Ring of Basilius and after you hit level 3, you're done trying to control the lane to creep farm. Just push lanes and kill towers. Now, if you don't know, pushing means killing the enemy creep wave as fast as possible to push your creeps up to the tower so you can kill their tower. So you'll realize if you do this, the gold will flow. Now, however, note, make sure you're still going for the last hits a bit while you're pushing, and make sure you push the non-farming lanes first. Usually the lane that does not run alongside your side's jungle, and usually the lane that does not contain your hard carry. And then after that, you push down the middle lane, and then you want to push the lane with your hard carry farming last, okay? You usually don't want to mess up your carry's farm by pushing his lane too early. Focus on bringing down towers with your Plague Wards and setting up kills with Venomous Gale and auto attacks. Now don't forget that your poison damage at this point is insane and can melt even the tankiest heroes at this stage of the game. Now also, I see a lot of people who refuse to use Venomancer's ultimate for anything other than a team fight, which is a shame because it is actually an amazing ganking skill as well. In any early game gank or 1 vs 1 engagement, Poison Nova into Venomous Gale, and by the way, you're gonna need near full mana to pull this off. With a couple auto attacks, maybe a ward or two, is a combo that will kill just about any hero, guaranteed. And not only that, you're gonna have them regretting they weren't boss enough to pick Venomancer. Alright, now onto your skills in the mid game. You should probably max out your Venomous Gale after your Plague Wards, and then max out your Poison Sting last, all while getting your ultimate every single chance you can at level 6, 11, and 16. The reason is Venomous Gale gives you potential for more damage at a faster rate. It is also a better ganking skill and better in team fights, as long as you can hit 2 or more heroes during a team fight, which you obviously can because you're a boss. Then it's a lot better for you and your team. Alright, now let's talk about your ultimate, Poison Nova, for just a second, because in the mid game, this is a team fight nuke. And easy to land too. Now let's just do the math here for a second. Considering at level 11, ultimate level 2, you get it on 3 enemy heroes in a fight, which should be easily doable in your sleep because you're a boss. Now, that's 58 damage per second times 14 seconds on 3 heroes. Now doing the math, I'm pretty sure that's somewhere close to 25 billion damage just by yourself for pressing R. Alright, now just make sure you have the mana to cast it in a team fight because it does cost a lot of mana for Venomancer, and get it off in the fight as early as possible to allow the poison to do its work over the course of the fight. Now also, since the damage is non-lethal, that's one drawback, meaning it will only bring down a hero to 1 HP and not kill. You're going to need to make sure you get one of your other poisons on the heroes that have been hit with your ultimate, so they don't live to regret the fact that they did not pick Venomancer. Alright, now onto mid-game items. At this point, you're lacking in 2 departments. Mana, because constant spamming of your Plague Wards isn't enough to satisfy you anymore, and you want to be able to use your Venomous Gale liberally. As well as some sort of escape mechanism if you have enemies on your ass. Therefore, Force Staff is the way to go. It's not too expensive, it gives you a great escape mechanism, even allowing you to walk up and down cliffs like a boss! As well as mana. Also, there's a bit of extra damage and attack speed thrown in there as well. Pretty good deal in my opinion. And I'm Asian, so I would know a good deal when I see one. Alright, so onto the mid-game gameplay strategies. Keep pushing those lanes, but always have a teleport scroll and prioritize your team fights over pushing towers, because winning team fights at this point is much more valuable than pushing down towers. Plus, in the mid-game, you are a team fight boss with your Poison Nova and your Venomous Gale, both of which are devastating combinations of area of effect and damage over time spells. Your job is to poison everybody. Also, don't forget, use those Plague Wards for everything. If you don't know what to use them for, go rewind this video and listen to that list again. Alright, so on to the late game. Skills, pretty straightforward, just get stats. You can't get anything else after you max out all your skills anyways. Items, I cannot stress this enough, but make sure you have money for a buyback in the late game that can save your ass, can save the game for you. Okay, now if you're still rich enough, you can get Mantis Style, Butterfly Heart. It just varies so much by this point. Alright, so now let's talk about late game strategies. By now, your poison is less effective compared to early and mid game, however it can still be very annoying, okay? Your job is basically the same as mid game, pushing probably their base now and poisoning everyone in team fights. However, you'll be less of a boss during team fights because the enemy team will likely have a lot of magic resistance or immunity items at this point, such as a Black King Bar or a Pipe of Insight. Plague wards, still good for everything, so everywhere, use them constantly. Pushing everything, but also now you just gotta hope that your carry is better than theirs. If you are insanely farmed, you can semi-carry, but don't count on it. Remember, Venomancer is a boss early to mid-game, but by now, you're just a senior employee. Alright, now that's it for this boss guide to Venomancer. What are you still doing here? Hurry up and go pick Venomancer before somebody else does and pwns whatever other hero you have to end up playing. And on a real note, hope you enjoyed this video guide and find it helpful. If you like this one and want to see more, show some love by liking, commenting, and my personal favorite, subscribing.